Hey folks, welcome to Planet Traffic, and today's episode is focusing on, wow, how different it can be being away from a metropolitan city. And this is I guess would be considered the Deep South. I mean, I'm currently in Leeville, Louisiana, and this area is more known for, I'm actually staying at Fort Johnson, formerly Fort Polk. And so there was a time where, this area could support what I'm about ready to show you, could support a lot of businesses, because Fort Johnson's population, I'm sure, was a whole lot higher, and maybe there's even something I can research to find out exactly how much higher it was as compared to what it currently is. But it's kind of interesting to see so much of the South. It has an effect when you're driving through. I'm going to show you right now little bits and pieces of it in this area alone, how things were and how things are currently. One of the most common businesses to be basically abandoned are the gas stations. And my understanding is, like, for anyone to take this over and try to turn this land itself into something other than a gas station, the EPA, it would be super expensive to get the tanks that are underground. So what ends up happening is, a lot of times the businesses that used to take the business for the pumps is still active, but the gas end of it isn't, and it kind of just remains there. This actually here is open for business here, this little strip mall area here, along with this cafe. But as you start wandering around, you could see what has been replaced or what has been abandoned. And there's a little string of this right along this road. And I think for the most part, it is because of the population inside Fort Johnson. Ooh, okay. This sun is a torch. Is absolutely it's just fire. It's just a flame. So if you're in line with it, you're going to be on fire. But so between the Dollar Trees and some bigger gas stations, they've really eliminated a lot of the businesses. Shouldn't blame the whole thing on Dollar Tree, but they're the only thing that really has the survival. You see them, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, they're alive and well, and most of the stuff around it is not alive and well at all. So this thing right here looked like it certainly was a gas pump. Oh, Chevron. But this over here looks like it could have been a 7-Eleven or something. It has a look about it, and I'm going right under the shade. You can see that not only is it gone, but even certain levels of looting that went on in there. And the thing is, there's nobody around here. It's like there's Fort Johnson, and then from a residential standpoint, there's no one really. I can't even imagine how many miles away anyone is from living in this area. Here's an old post for a sign right there. So I'm thinking there's even 2 or 3 turns of businesses have tried their luck in some of these areas and just have not had success. All right, we're going to continue on. are over here. This is another strip mall, and I'm going to say one thing right now, for real, is that, like, you know, in Atlanta, these things are blowing up, and I get it. Atlanta metropolitan area is 6.1 million people, which, you know, these areas here are not having that. They don't have access to that amount of people. But here's just another. Oh, check it. You know, they don't have access to that people. It really is all based how well this is going to run and go is based, in my opinion, on the amount of personnel that's actually in Fort Johnson. And Fort Johnson itself is laid out. Like, they have all of this, almost all this business activity covered at Fort Johnson. So you would need even more so the foot traffic to really support, you know, these businesses on the outskirts of Fort Johnson. Just the remnants of someone's wooden sign out front. Yeah, look at that. Forget that logo. And that got passed by. Well, we already know Sears' history and how that ended. I know Philadelphia had a major Sears presence, not only at Adams Avenue, but all across the city. Here we go here. Well, here's this is something that's probably greatly missed. Look at this. Movie rental. Adults $2 or $3 or 3 for $5. And shoe repair. Now, if this, and snow cones. Now, I don't know. You find me somebody else that couldn't find some type of pleasure in knowing they can come over here, rent adult books, magazines, movies, get a snow cone, and get their shoes fixed. All right, so here we go. Look at this. This place just is doing it all. We got beer. We got produce. And a gift shop. And I guess that's not to be associated here. 2 separate doors, so I'm going to say that's 2 different places, but do take Visa, MasterCard, and food stamps. So this is another one. Please get off me. One thing about the South that you need to get accustomed to is when you used to be in the cities, especially up north, one of them, Philly, be like, oh, something's on my arm. And I take a second or two to freaking look at it. Not down here. Because something lands on your arm, it may feel like a little bit of something. But chances are it's probably 3 feet long. And needs to be addressed. So yeah, look, it's just, and you know what's weird? For someone that's into like the abandoned, I've been abandoned schools, different things. There's when I see the stores, I'm up north, was really not accustomed to that. Was really not accustomed to it. And it's one thing in the South, especially when I take this trip from, here we go. And I'm pretty sure that gas pump's not working. One thing about the South is, like, where I live in the Atlanta metro area, there really isn't any abandoned. Everything's in place. Everything's filled. Everything's occupied. But when you go, I was in Selma, Alabama, all the way across Mississippi into Louisiana, and it's, oh, look at this. Hold on, folks. Hold the presses. Look at this guy sitting here. I saw you. You are green, but you are now on TV. And something tells me that's not going to be the only one in this bush. But hell, look at you. Look at this. Look at the majesty. Wow. You're great. Look at you. It's like, dude, stop. I didn't give you my consent to be on YouTube. Yeah, it's scary, man. To someone like me coming up from the Philadelphia area, then being in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and oh, now you're moving. That's a mega grasshopper right there. That is a mega. You still there? Hey, he's moving around. But anyway, yeah, it's being from the Philly area and then down to Atlanta, it's not really, you don't see it, but man, oh man, when you come across, I came from Selma all the way across to Leeville, Louisiana, and everything in between, and man, oh man, it looks like movie sets. If my viewers, the viewers that I do have, if you're from metropolitan cities, it's, I mean, if you're well traveled, and I'm still saying I'm not well traveled, even domestically, nationally. It's a wake up call. Like, holy cow. Like, not like, oh, the business didn't work out, somebody else comes in. Man, no, that just gets left. It just gets left behind. And like I said, it looks like, it has the appearance of like a movie set. If you're like me and you don't live rurally, what I would call rural life. But I think that was the couple conversations I had with people here. And like, you know, Fort Johnson's, the business around Fort Johnson is based on the population in Fort Johnson. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that today. I mean, that's something that definitely piques my interest and is easily for me to record and film it, because it's absolutely something that is very interesting to me. And how people continue their life, making money, trying to support their families, and how much of a roll of the dice it is at times with having your own business. I just noticed this sales point, short-term loans, 25 to 300. There are a couple people I used to work with at my job that were doing short-term loans, probably from anywhere from 25 to that $300 number. I'm going to say that's well over 10 to 15 years ago that was happening in there. Okay. Yeah. Talking to my buddy yesterday on the phone, and I was like, dude, I've never seen anything like this, and I wasn't in a position to really film any of it because I was in the car driving. I was like, I've never seen anything like this. There was 2 gas stations right across from each other, and down here gas currently can be as low as, like, I don't know, like $2.55. It's creeping into that area. And both these stations were $3.20 each, and that was a lot. That's a lot for down here right now. Okay, so they were like $3.20 each. 2 gas stations, kind of old, you know, not any type of renovation, probably in the last 25 years, I'd say. Every building that was around those two gas stations was rubble, like rubble, and dated. Like, that's the other thing. Like, they were dated. Them buildings were hand painted on the brick. Okay, like, so, and I love that. I freaking love that. Like, when I'm going into these older towns, I love when they do, whether it's advertising for Pepsi or Coke, or I've even seen Royal Crown Cola. It's painted on the side of a wall, not any type of plexiglass or plastic or, you know, signage. It's painted, you know, that whole process. But yeah, the 2 gas stations open for business, charging outrageous amount of money, and all the buildings around them, the roofs were either caved in, the walls were caved in. It was like, what in the God, who's down here even buying gas here. There wasn't a single store alive around it. It was odd looking. It was really, really odd looking. I made a mistake, folks. I made a major mistake. Tell me this store right here that I looked at earlier. I said 7-Eleven. I'm gonna change my answer and say that looks like a Dunkin' Donuts, like an old Dunkin' Donuts. I'm gonna see if I can get confirmation. All right, folks, thanks for watching today's video. It was just a little snippet of Leeville, Louisiana, just a peek in at it. Again, I'm currently in Fort Johnson. I just want to thank you for watching, and I will see you next episode, which may very well be on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, but we'll see. Okay, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.